Guilty as charged. Eric Maigo prime murder suspect Anne Adhiambo pleads guilty of murder charges leveled against her. Plus, brace for heavy downpour. Kenya Meteorological Department warns of heavy rains in the coming weeks as floods wreak havoc in northeastern and Busia County.
Welcome. Sami Okelo is on our sign language interpreter tonight, and my name is Auma Evans. Remember, you can follow this broadcast on all of our social media platforms. We are live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet me on X at Auma Evans. Remember to use the hashtag Primetime News. And now we begin our bulletin tonight with matters education. President William Ruto has today flagged off 203 new vehicles for education officers across the country to be used to improve the efficiency in supervision and inspection of education delivery. Speaking at the Kenya Institute of Special Education in Nairobi County, Ruto outlined education officers' task in maintaining high education standards. The president has also told students that the national examination is not a do-or-die affair. Our very own Sylvia Anyango is on that report tonight.
President William Ruto, while at the Kenya Institute of Special Education in Kasarani, Nairobi County, outlined education officers' task in mapping out education challenges and managing emergencies within the education system. To help them undertake these roles, the president has flagged off 203 new vehicles for education officers in all the counties to be used in management, especially during the national examinations that will commence next week.
These vehicles will also improve the monitoring and distribution of examination papers across the country and the examination period tests the entire education system, and is one of the ways to ensure the system holds. We are now looking at how to bring in competency-based education, that examination is not a do-or-die exercise. It is part of the exercise of learning.
Ruto has also promised to raise 500 million shillings by cutting on his budget and redirect the funds to the manufacturing of local devices to be used by learners with special needs at the Kenya Special Needs Institution in Mavoko.
I'm going to adjust my budget again. I will knock off a few things, including the travel allowances and many of the things that are in there, so that I can find 500 million shillings to give it to start the manufacture of local devices that will assist in learning by our children with special needs.
On the complaints of inadequate infrastructure in junior secondary schools by members of parliament, the national government, in collaboration with the county government of Nairobi, has promised to construct 5,000 classrooms in 3 years. Ruto further asked members of parliament to approve the request that shall be presented in parliament to help him fulfill his commitment to Kenyans.
I am worried. Instead of 250,000 children, Waziri, we are going to have around 350,000. So we want to move quickly. And I hope we can get people like those who did this work, because this is work you can see value for money, prudence in use of public resources.
I want to tell the Nairobi County, especially members of parliament and the county government, that in the supplementary that I am sending to parliament this week, probably tomorrow or Monday, I have committed 1 billion shillings for Nairobi County as part of my commitment to start the building of the 3,500 classrooms that I undertook.
In response to the proposals by the Presidential Working Committee on Education of improving the quality of education and that of the Senate of curbing exam malpractice, education officers have been challenged to make good use of resources availed to them to restore the glory of education sector. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Thank you so much, Sylvia Nyango, for that comprehensive reporting. Still on the head of state, residents of Mihango, Narindrima area are yet to come with terms of eviction notice from the land they claim to have stayed for over 20 years by the Kirima family. According to residents, a proper investigation is supposed to be done on how the land was acquired all those years without a proper documentation from the Kirima family. The affected residents have vowed to join hands and take the fight to the Court of Appeal but at the same time embracing a possible dialogue and negotiation with the Kirima family on a planned settlement and compensation.
Mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa Utawala, pale tunaita Ardai, Mihango. Nimekaa hapa tangu 2009. Nikilinunua shamba sikuwa najua kwamba ilikuwa ya Kirima. Na tumefanya maendeleo na hakuna mtu amekuja kutuuliza kwamba tunafanya maendeleo kwa shamba yao. Hata kwanza saa hii tulikuwa tunatarajia tutapata title deed yetu. Ni kwamba kama ni usuni kwamba tumeambiwa tuhame. Na sasa tunashida tunaenda tukihama tukienda wapi? Shamba tulinunua, tukapewa allotment letters. Wengi wetu tunalipa rates kwa county.
Right, let's stay on that story for a bit. President William Ruto has asked Njiru land buyers facing eviction to consider re-entering legal land agreement to retain their tract of land. And as KUTV's Joseph Oyomo reports, the occupiers have up to 31st December to move out following a court ruling that found the vast land to be owned by the late politician Gershon Kirima's family. Recent demolitions have also occurred in Mavoko, Machakos County.
Before the dust settles on Mavoko demolitions, hundreds of homeowners in Nairobi's Njiru land, which spans over 1,000 acres, are a disrupted lot following a court ruling ordering them to evacuate the land by 31st December
we have challenges of land all over the country, and we're trying to align. We're trying what we want, what we must get rid of in the whole of this is impunity. We must get rid of impunity. We cannot allow impunity in Kenya.
A day after the residents facing eviction led by Kasarani MP Ronald Karauri vowed to fight for their land, President Ruto has added his voice on the hot topic.
You know, we all must play by the rules. We are all equal before the law. And so the people who are willing to negotiate, they should negotiate and have a settlement. That is the best way to go about it.
President William Ruto has directed the settlers wishing to retain their parcels to consider completing the purchase of the land, this time following the due process.
The people who, using impunity, want to bring fake titles, seek entitlement to what is not theirs, that's not acceptable. So for the land that is in this institution, I am told some people have built flats around here on land that does not belong to them. So we are going to agree with them. We need the money to go and do the factory, so tutakata hapo, watulipe pesa. Market value.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has blasted the decision to render Njiru land ownership to the family of former Sarehe MP Gershon Karima, calling on land purchase regulation and consideration of hundreds of homeowners and investors who are counting months of losses.
Many residents are jittery, hawalali na amani, because they lost a case in the Kirima land, you know, around 980 acres in Choka area, Njiru going into Embakasi East. Your Excellency, as a county government, we're going to do a mediation process between the family and these residents. Many of them are innocent third buyers.
Watuletee pesa, waendelee na maisha yao, ama kama sivyo, mambo tu ni yale. They already have a piece of land, it tells me in Mavoko. I will make sure that that land is secured. I'm told there are some people hanging around there. I will deal with them. So we will secure the land. I will send the National Youth Service next week to secure the land.
At the same time, over 3,000 people have been evicted in parts of Masai Mau Forest in a fresh eviction that commenced in September, according to Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Dr. Abdi Hassan. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
Right, let's switch gears to politics a bit. Jeremiah Kioni wing of Jubilee Party has celebrated the 62nd birthday of Uhuru Kenyatta, despite the former head of state being a no-show at today's event. The battle for the heart of the party dominated the speeches in apparent attacks directed at the breakaway faction led by nominated Member of Parliament Kamina Chege and Iyala Member of Parliament Kanini Kega. Pro-Kenyatta big shots present at the event include party chairman David Murathe and Maina Njenga. And now to the corridors of justice. There's prime suspect in the Eric Maigo murder case. Anna Adhiambo has confessed to murdering the Nairobi Hospital acting finance director. Anne pleaded guilty to the murder charges advanced by the prosecution, despite multiple caution by the presiding magistrate Kanyi Kamondo, who warned her about the serious consequences of the plea. Justice Kanyi Kimondo advised her to consult with her lawyer to fully comprehend the implication of her confession. Anna Adhiambo will remain in Langata Women's Prison until next plea hearing scheduled for November 8th at the Kibra Law Courts. Now matters environment. Now the several parts of the country continue to receive torrential rain which have wreaked havoc and even caused deaths, as Julie Ongaki reports. On a day that the Kenya Meteorological Department shared video on social media platform depicting the situation in the most parts of the country, despite President William Ruto announcing on Sunday, October 22nd, that the country will not experience El Nino as was predicted by the weatherman.
The Kenya Meteorological Department has posted videos on social media platforms indicating a possible start of El Nino rains in the country. Within the past 2 days, Marsabit County has witnessed heavy rains which claimed the lives of 2 people in Lolgogo village after River Malgis broke its banks. In another incident, a 70-year-old woman died in Busia County following heavy rains, accompanied by strong winds which felled trees and damaged houses. Elsewhere, several weather stations in Meru County recorded heavy rainfalls of 25.4 millimeters, resulting in floods. On October 24th, the Kenya Meteorological Department confirmed that the rains have disrupted activities in the county. These reports are emerging after President William Ruto's statement on Sunday, October 22nd, that Kenya will not experience El Nino as was predicted by the scientists from the Meteorological Department.
Hata juzi mlisikia tukawa na habari pengine kutakuwa na El Nino ambayo itaharibu kule, itaharibu mali ingine, lakini Mungu ni nani? Mmesikia wale watu wamesema tena ile El Nino haitakuweko, wamesema kutakuwa tu na mvua kubwa lakini haitafika pale ya kuharibu.
According to the Council of Governors chairperson Anne Waiguru, cumulatively counties only have about 1 billion shillings available in their budgets to mitigate El Nino disasters. Julie Ongaki, KUTV.
Right, elsewhere, every year, Kenyatta University Culture Week opens its door to different partners seeking to showcase their product. This year, partners including Indomie, a big communication authority of Kenya, Coca-Cola, among others, came together to celebrate the 30th edition of the KU Culture Week. Apart from showcasing their products, students also got to enjoy free services, goodies, bags, and mentorship from some of the companies Ruth Wanjiru Pitch Camp are the KU's main campus and filed the following report for us.
In the spirit of the KU 30th Culture Week, Kenyatta University partnered with different organizations to fulfill the goal of engaging the students. Among the organizations is the Communication Authority of Kenya, which regulates the communication space in the country. The authority mentored the students on data security, social media management, data safety, and cybercrime such as cyberbullying. In the university's amphitheater, the big company also showcased its product while also providing free services to the students. Afterwards, the students had a mentorship sessions with the famed chief guest Aziad Nasenya, who encouraged them to chase their dreams with confidence.
I can say the first step in getting to where you want in life is know yourself, evaluate yourself, dream big, and then chase it.
At the shopping center, different tents were set up with products ranging from traditional ornaments, modern jewelry, food, virtual reality games, bags and hair products, among others.
Hii Culture Week imekuwa mzuri sana kwetu kwa sababu tumekutana na wanafunzi tofauti, wengi wanapenda vitu zetu na wamefurahia sana.
Paul Ngatia, who is exhibiting traditional ornaments, cites that the Culture Week has given them a chance to showcase their products and also interact with the students. With today being the last day of the Culture Week before the closing ceremony tomorrow, the celebrations have not only encouraged cultural diversity, but also provided students with avenues to connect and network with partners. Ruth Wanjiru for KUTV.
Right, it is 16 minutes past 9 p.m. Time to take our first break here on KUTV Primetime News. Remember, when we come back, we'll be diving into our topic of the day. And of course, my guests are already in their house. Just see you in a bit.
Fashionistas, get ready to level up your style. Tune in to Fashion Diaries every Monday at 8 p.m. with me, Ashi Asan. From Kia Hills to Skitsos, we've got the trends that will make you shine. Don't be left out. Join us for a fashion-filled adventure.
Loving husband and father. Nothing is too good for my daughter. An ambitious businessman with a dark secret. A girl with a whole life in front of her, plunging into a marriage that she did not choose with the wrong man.
I'm not ready to marry Zima.
But who is the right one? I love Nambi. A rock star living the dream. But the babes keep chasing me, I guess. It ain't easy being famous. Especially with so many glamorous women around. A woman hell-bent on revenge.
You will pay.
Seductive. Dangerous. She is a predator. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. They will do anything to get it. Love and wealth.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People power si vuguvugu. People power ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa. Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
To kickstart your day with the most exciting morning show around. Tune in to our dynamic and entertaining program where we keep you informed, engaged, and entertained from the moment you wake up.
From breaking news and current events to music, fun, and out of the ordinary stories, we've got you covered with a mix of interviews, games, and special segments. You never know what's in store.
Join us every Monday morning
and Tuesday morning
for a fun and fascinating way to start your day.
Don't miss out on the action.
Tune in now and experience the excitement for yourself.
Only on KUTV Rise Today from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Start your day
with us.
Focus on Health is a show that creates awareness on matters health and informs you on various diseases, their causes, treatment, prevention, coping, and support. So join me, Boari Michelle, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at KUTV Focus on Health on Facebook and also on YouTube, and Health Focus on Instagram, because your health is your wealth. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora. Kwani kilimo ndicho boresha maisha.
tunakula usiku. Tuachane na break kwanza, tuende lunch. Chapo. Ndio hiyo. Kama ndikimo.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Sikinai tujinai siweke story. Kata maji pia shada liko nasio nikosa msupo si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe. Najua ni
Mama, big up, brother, you are a believer, big up, sis, big up, shows, mama, big up, oh yeah, wase wote, okay, my principal, big up.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Exciting adventures across the African continent. See breathtaking wildlife, stunning landscapes, and out of this world technologies. Meet incredible scientists and learn fantastic facts. Explore, discover, be amazed. Part of the next generation of African change makers. Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program. Yay!
We're learning every day.
Right, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Remember, the conversation begins right now, and tonight we are shifting a little bit to matters to do with the young leaders and of course in particular the varsity politics. You know, the nitty-gritty that involves the politics itself, the now ever-growing trend of actually the election being quite expensive when you compare, or rather to many perception of many people. Well, those are some of the emerging statistics that to some might sound as shock, but that is the reality on the ground. Besides that, there have been quite a number of issues within this, but the good thing is we have the leaders themselves here to just give us, or rather to put us into perspective of how all these things are happening. So today we are asking, which way varsity politics, from expensive elections campaign all the way to many matters that involve university elections. And to join me into the discussion is Robert Rover Bunaya, that is KUSA President, Kenyatta University Students Association President, and Brian Mutevu, that is KUSA President, Jomo Kenyatta University Students Association President. And gentlemen, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Yeah.
And I will begin. Recently, Kenyatta University, of course, held its election.
Yes.
And of course, you are now the president. You were sworn in yesterday. And I'll begin by saying congratulations.
Thank you.
And there is a matter that has really, shocked many. I'm talking about the expensive election campaign.
Yes.
How much does it cost to actually run for that office?
Honestly speaking, it costs quite a lot to actually get run for office, because it's an expensive expedition that you're actually carrying out as a leader. But it's something you have to go for if you're willing to become a leader in any public institution or in a university. Yeah.
All right. Well, in an estimation, if you were to, not exact figure, but you can just round off, how much in terms of value, how much does it cost? How much did you use?
To the nearest 1 million or to the nearest hundreds of thousands. Depends on which exact figure you require from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But an estimation is about 600,000.
600,000.
Yes.
Well, that might sound to many as, a surprise and even a shock for a student. And this begs the, who is your sponsor?
Myself, you see, it actually depends on the kind of person you are. Besides being a student, I am a corporate personality myself. I have my own company called Sort of Agencies, where I have a stream of income that actually comes from the same. Then it also depends on the kind of people that are surrounding you. If you surround yourself with big people, they'll get to support you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's perhaps where you self-equity that you get perhaps from your own pocket. And that's how it moves from one step to the other.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, Brian, you?
Well, it's around a similar range. Maybe the system that we have in JKUAT is a little bit different because here they have a coalition system. You come in with your whole party, so you might even have the grace of having people contribute for you. So being the president in a place like JKUAT, you have to kujisimamia in simple terms. You have to stand for yourself. So it comes with also an expense, maybe half of what he said, around 400 maybe. That is what you'll spend. But also there's another unique aspect, especially when it comes to a matter of the students themselves. If they believe in you, first of all, they won't want to take too much from you. The second thing is also you find that people will contribute for you. Because for me, on my end, yes, there was some bit of money that I had raised personally, and of course, support from my family, but most of it, I can tell you, came from the students themselves who wanted to support me in order to achieve that course.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you've actually mentioned about a very important aspect, and this is, if you have the student on their side, and actually we'll talk about, the real, leaders, because there's some talks about some of the leaders that are being elected, they are not the true representative of what majority of students will actually wish them to be there. But let's take a look at another very interesting aspect as far as election is concerned, and this one, this in particular, the voting system itself. Well, when you look at the, this is the act that is, it was enacted by, 2016, the University Act, and that is 41 AC, when you go to BA, and of course AC and E1. it talks about the regulations that will govern the election system that will be done. And when you look at like the previous one, we had the universal suffrage, and right now we have the electoral, college, and that is what is being used by many institutions, even here in Kenyatta University. Well, that one has its own fair share of challenges, especially when it comes to the leaders that end up in that ballot. What is your assessment based on that electoral system, especially the college?
From my end, the system was actually input not so long ago, actually to deprive student leaders of their legitimate action of them actually having to get voted by one, as the system where it was one man, one vote. So over time, it has really had an impact because the kind of student leaders that are being produced are of soft nature. When you find a person that has been supported by particular parties. But now, in my case, I'd speak for myself, and I could speak for Miteni here. For me, once you've been chosen by the people, you could actually get to see that the kind of support you're getting is genuine support, and is the kind of support that is student-based, where you feel as if without you, their existence is null and void, and they actually do believe in your leadership. So in as much as it has had an impact, to some extent, you can choose a few questionable characters that you can actually find here and there, that once they leave the university political space, they go out there and become people that perhaps might not even have any significance in the political space. So it has had an impact over time, but it is my wish and my plea that let university leaders be chosen by fact and virtue of people actually wanting them, as compared to when someone actually influences people to actually get to vote for a particular side or a particular party. Yes.
Well, Ryan, the leaders that end up in ballot, and even the leaders that end up now taking the mantle of leadership in this institution, people.
Well, as Sarova put it, he spoke for himself. Now, the question of the delegate system is somewhat a philosophical question. We take Socrates as the father of democracy, as they say. And there's a very key question that Socrates asked. Would you, if you were in a ship that was maybe supposed to ferry people from one point at sea to another point at sea, the biggest question was, would you choose a random group of people, or would you allow everyone to just drive the ship? Or would you choose the captains that can enable this ship to sail from point A to point B? So when it comes to the point of universal suffrage, actually, I even took part in last year's election, the general elections. And let me tell you, the people who vote in leaders in Kenya, man, some of them do not even maybe have the education. So it has some mishaps to it. The fact that, of course, now the power of the student leader is quite reduced, because you're no longer going to each and every student. You're no longer answerable to each and every student by the time you go out there for campaigning. But also, it has also enabled us to have at least leaders who are also quite thoughtful, people who have been able to at least reason. Just look at maybe some universities. You remember during those past times, it would take maybe, we even neglected choosing some universities because we knew that every time there was just a strike taking place. But right now, even before you go to the streets, you really have to have something that is pressing and not just a political agenda in order to call your people to the streets, So it has some positive impact to it, but again, also you cannot negate the negative impact that this system has brought on board. Yes.
Well, that is where the problem lies, because, much of the people, when even you look at the conversation that involve these particular leaders that are being, now elected, to many people, they think that this is not the true representative of the people, because some even accuse you leaders of getting to bed with, the higher, some might call the administration, others will call higher authority, because they feel like you're not really passionate about the issues that really concern students. How will you answer that?
I'd answer that by saying this. A leader is someone that is legitimate. And if you find a legitimate leader is a person that can clearly and articulately air out views on student issues without fear of contradiction or fear of perhaps being molded into something small. So when someone says that you've been lying with bed with perhaps the administration, perhaps it's true, because they don't actually see you go out there to actually articulate their issues well. Now, as I speak for myself, going to bed with the administration has perhaps its own repercussions, and someone might perhaps have their own reasons. But I'd just say one thing. You see, as a leader, once you're chosen, that legitimate feeling, once you're even exiting office, remains only if you, at one point or at a given point in your leadership or in your regime, you actually stood up to defend the rights of the students. So it all narrows down to it all goes back to, are you a legitimate leader? Were you chosen by fact and virtue of you having the support from the students, or were you just some other laggard that just got into office by just snitching at the back door? Yeah.
Well, Brian, Bonaya raised a very important, aspect. Are you a legitimate leader?
Yes, so that is a question that sometimes I think even after Bonai is in office for some time, he'll find himself asking himself that very question. Because, okay, there's also an aspect to this that I want to bring forth. Sometimes also the people that put us into office, they expect you to articulate these issues. But now their expectations of how you articulate these issues might be different. There are people who know representation is going out to the streets and burning tires and chasing your vice chancellors and everybody in the university workforce, But again, there's also being able to just tell the administration and just being able to sit with them and frankly having that frank conversation with them and telling them that this we do not agree with. And once you put your foot down as a leader, let's say something was supposed to happen, maybe raise some fees or something like that, and you tell them that this is something that my students we will not tolerate this, because at the end of the day, we are the clients in the universities. There is no university without students, So just being able to articulate that is something that is very important. But now the biggest question here remains as simple as this. How do they expect you to articulate those issues? Yeah, so that is the question that also the comrades sometimes need to ask themselves. By the time when they tell a person maybe he's in bed with the administration, that is a keen question that they have to ask themselves also.
Well, that question of how do they expect you to actually ask that question, well, I think that question was answered by the time they were voting, of course, you guys in, because they believe you have what it takes to actually represent them, because I don't think if all of them can actually, articulate their issues to the right people, that's why they have you guys. What do you have to say about that, Bonaya?
Now, again, I clearly state that there's a thin line between lunacy and diplomacy. As students, you don't have to resort into lunacy. There's an aspect of a leader called diplomacy, and in as much as the Greek metaphorical says, if diplomacy fails, lunacy prevails. But now, as a leader, you ought to exhaust completely the diplomatic side of yourself as a leader before resorting into lunacy. So I believe in a democratic and in a fair world, if someone actually wants to actually execute something, the diplomatic way should be used. And it is through peaceful dialogue, and you get to actually get what the students want and what the management wants. As student leaders, we're actually the bridge between the students and the management, because we actually get to face the challenges that the students face at the same time. We actually get to understand the management. So once we get to a table and we are shamefaced as we get to discuss on the same issues that are affecting me as one of the students, lunacy might at the end of the day prevail, but now it gets to a point where you hold back and say, let me use diplomatic ways. So as a leader, you also have to gauge and see which one is heavier, the lunatic in me or the diplomatic side. So choose between the two, which one would you go for?
All right.
For myself, I'd go for diplomacy. But when pushed, I might become a lunatic.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Brian, of course, now the question here is how to balance between, what the student wants and what the administration wants. So you have to really, take that balance, and that has been the bone of contention in most cases. Yeah. So how do you balance between the need of a student and that of the administration?
Okay. First of all, it's all about understanding how the system works. For example, let me give a case and something that has really puzzled me maybe during my tenure in office for the past year. It has been on the issue of, maybe it's actually what is happening right now in the change of the university funding model. When the first years reported, the actual fees that was on their fee statements was simply the cost of that course. For us who are already continuing students, let's say for me, I'm in my 4th year of study in the School of Agricultural Engineering, and I was paying only 20,000 shillings. A first year taking the same course, when you look at the fee structure, it's spanning something to do with maybe 300,000 Kenyan shillings. But you have to understand, where did this come from? It's not the fault of the administration to set it that way. They were directed by who? The government again. So if you get to understand the issues that are there, that are working there, but now there's some other issues such as delays. Maybe there's some repairs that need to be handled and the money was already set aside in the school. So that is no longer the fault of the government. It's now the fault of the people, such as maybe the administration, who really need to pull their socks and make sure these things get to the students quickly, So once you're able to understand maybe where you're serving, it becomes a little bit better for you to balance, because the things where you can, where you can point blame, and you say, this is your fault, fix it immediately. And you also know where to tell the students, guys, this is a bigger game. And unless we unite maybe even across all the universities in Kenya, because it is something that is affecting all of us, we cannot handle it as a single institution. So I believe it's all about being able to understand where you're serving and also who you're serving at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you talk about, actually I've spoken to my curiosity, and this is matters to do with the student, let's say welfare, for example. And in this case study, I'll just give you a very, pretty similar example to both of you. For example, let's say the issues to do with meal. Here, there, even at your school. In such matters whereby a student finds himself or herself having to dig deeper sometimes to actually, to cater for something that maybe a few months ago, or rather last semester, it was a little bit cheaper, but now the prices are a little bit higher. So in that case, there is those voices, the discontent voices among the students, and they are whispering. So you as leaders, in such scenarios where maybe there is something you can do about it, or maybe there is nothing that you can't do about it. So how do you deal with that, Bunaya?
When it comes to matters meals and when it comes to matters student welfare, particularly we've mentioned on the meals. For instance, for us in KU, for the past about 2 semesters, there has been a change of fluctuations of prices in the food prices in the mess. The best we could do is actually get to have external funding. to actually get the students being able to access food inside the messes, because now these meals are actually a primary need, and it's very fundamental for a student to actually get to eat so that they actually get to function. So the best we could do is actually get people from outside, perhaps donors, come to the university, assist students, and in our own capacity as a school and as a university, we actually get to see how these prices can be reduced so that everyone can at least afford a meal or two, perhaps in a day. Yes.
Well, and Brian, of course, in the same breath, is this something that maybe some demand by the student could be out of your control as a student leader?
Honestly, I think for me, that is the most emotional thing that I've faced in office, because some of the cases that I witness, especially Eman, is just heartbreaking. You feel the pain of that student, but again, maybe even you as a student leader, you send so many 100 shillings maybe to people, and you get to that point where you realize that you can't send 100 bob to maybe 100 people daily who have had nothing to eat for the past 2 days or something like that, you know. So one of the key things that I'm really pushing for, first of all, is student-driven initiatives. And what I mean by student-driven initiatives, maybe in my situation, it might be unique for me in a place like JKUAT, but I keep on asking for maybe the students who take part also in issues such as maybe agriculture, students studying that, they have their own clubs and societies. And what we've been encouraging them for the past maybe year as I took my tenure into office was, first of all, just asking for sections of maybe the farmland that is available in JKUAT to be able to raise some of the income or to raise some of the food. Producing definitely means that you're producing at a cheaper cost, and providing it to the mess, again, also is a circular economy. You tend to also create income for the students in line with that, yes.
All right. Well, hold on to that thought. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll be still diving into matters to do with students' welfare. See you in a bit.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
All right, welcome back, and the conversation continues. And of course, gentlemen, I want us to switch gears pretty quick to something very interesting. I want to take a look at both of you. Let's say your manifesto. One of the things that is very crucial to the student welfare. Let's talk about security. Now, I want us to get into, some bit of practicability of it. So how do you actually deal with, issues with security? I'll begin with you, Brian.
Yes. So first of all, in a place like Juja, it was quite notoriously known, especially even by the time that I got in there in my first year of study. We had the first strike due to matters in security. But the conversation has even changed nowadays, because the first thing that we told the police when we came into office was as simple as this. You either chase the robbers or we'll be out here chasing the police. But somebody has to be doing the chasing somewhere. So this might have sounded like a threat, but the thing that we really dread as student leaders, and this is something that also I believe that Bonaya will also concur with me, is losing a student. You were taken to the university to study. You did not go there to die. So first of all, engagement with the local police. The other issue is also encouraging our students, because security starts with you as a personal initiative. But now the other issue that now is even raising a concern now is that security has changed to being a matter of it's now a personal matter. What do I mean by this? Ever since I got into office, I've lost more students to suicide, even compared to insecurity. Actually, since my tenure started, we have not lost a single student to insecurity. Maybe a few cases of muggings, which have been dealt with. That is something that we do not negotiate on, especially when it comes to an institution like JKUAT.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Bunaya, your 5-point agenda, and of course, which area do you think the attainable ones, and how do you hope to actually achieve them?
My 5-point agenda was 1 on security, 2 was on effective delivery of services to a student, where I actually focused on the dignity of a comrade, where I focused more on the things that are primarily required for someone to actually get to achieve the academic qualifications once they're in the university. Another agenda was for effective and modern accommodation services that are rendered to our students in the hostels. Another one was the effective delivery of healthcare services to these students as they stay within their stay in the university. And my last one was actually getting to deliver all these things that I've put forward to them as part of my manifesto. So this entire manifesto actually focused on the dignity of a comrade, because I believe a comrade requires particular facilities to actually get to thrive inside a university, being healthcare, basic accommodation, actually even meals to begin with. So me actually being in a position to ensure that whatever has been provided is of great significance and of good quality. That's, I believe, I will have delivered to the students.
Well, gentlemen, you're running out of time, and even on that agenda, do you believe it's a pipe dream or something that can be attained pretty quick?
Definitely be attained, because once you become a legitimate leader, nothing can stop you back.
All right. Well, fair enough. I wish we could have plenty of time, but that is all we had for you. And of course, now we are switching gears pretty quick to, matter sports. All right, now it's time for sporty action. Kenya's sensational fighter Fatuma Zarika will take on Tanzanian Fatuma Omar in the World Boxing Intercontinental Association title match that will be held here in Nairobi tomorrow. Both fighters are upbeat of victory comes tomorrow in a do-or-die affair. The former world bantamweight champion Iron Lady says that she has changed her tactics since she won the first bantam title, and she is hoping that the good preparation and home-based support will work to her advantage. And world record holder in the women 1500 and 5000 meter race Faith Kipyegon today met with U.S. Ambassador to Kenya Meg Whitman in Nairobi. Whitman praised Kipyegon for inspiring girls around the world after smashing back-to-back records in the 1500 meters and 5000 meters. This comes at the backdrop of Kipyegon together with Olympic champion Eliud Kipchoge confirming their participation in the upcoming Chemususu Dam Half Marathon, which will be held in Baringo County. Other runners who are set to be included in the marathon include the defending champion Daisy Cherotich and Emmanuel Kemboi. Now switching gears to international football, Newcastle United lost their first game in the UEFA Champions League after 1-0 loss against Borussia Dortmund. Felix Nemicha scored the only goal for Dortmund in 45th minutes. Elsewhere, Manchester City managed to win against Young Boys after Manuel Akanji and Erling Haaland scored for the Citizens in the second half. In today's Europa League clash, Brighton takes on Ajax while West Ham will face off Olympiacos. It is a wrap. Many thanks for keeping us a company in the last 1 hour or so. My name is Auma Evans. Samuel Kelo has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Until next time, it's a bye-bye and you have a lovely night.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha
This program is rated 16. The content is restricted to only those above 16 years.